boxes have to be produced 14 days in advance of a General Assembly. I think that point was agreed, certainly in our discussions. Does anyone have any comments on that? Yes.
I think it's a very good idea to actually avoid all this havoc that is created in normal General Assembly when in the last second, you receive proxy faxes. So I'm just not sure that 14 days isn't it too much, because maybe we should limit it to 1 week, because many federations, they are just making decisions just closer to the election. Some of them decide whether they can come or not. Delegates may show up or not to show up. I totally agree with the idea to give a time, certain amount of time to avoid the chaos, but I would probably think that cutting it from 2 weeks to 1 week will be more fair for federations to make their mind. And 1 week should be enough to sort out all the problems.
Gary, what my proposal is, because I feel that the group who is in power, for this group is better the smaller time. As closer we go to the assembly for this story of the proxies, the group who is in power actually is benefit of this. 1 week means that probably the days that people are traveling. This means 1 week, which I don't know if it's a good idea. 14 days, it was a period, but I'm ready to accept 1 week. I don't have any problem. I said from the beginning in our meeting, I can accept 1 week. In the beginning of the discussions, they were proposing 1 day, the previous day. I said, I'm ready to accept whatever you want. But I feel that it's not good this for the people who are not in power. These people, they need more time. But I'm ready to accept 1 week, 1 day, 3 days, whatever. I said, we are not insisting on this number. We think it's a good number for those that are not in power. But if you don't think the same, we are ready to accept 1 week. Yes, Silver.
The reason for us to bring it to 14 days was not only what you are mentioning, that it's working for the ruling group. It's also written that we need time to consider all appeals or things like this. We need time before General Assembly, between these 14 days, and we need time to come up with I don't know how it's mentioned, 5 days or something like this. And if you limit to 7, then we are a little bit stretched about dealing with the appeals and all explanations, all this.
Okay, then the other also will be more close to the Assembly, the decision of any of you. Yeah.
Just to clarify, are we talking about 14 days period prior to Congress or General Assembly?
General Assembly.
General Assembly.
General Assembly.
Yeah.
So basically, I think we can agree again. It's not a big point, but maybe we can agree it's the first day of the Olympiad, which gets 10 days, 12 days before the.
I don't have any problem, Gary. People they are traveling on those days. You understand? I don't have any problem.
No, but 2 weeks is again here. I don't think there's a point that creates any collision. We all agree time is needed, so it's 10 days, 14 days. It just maybe that's why I said it, to avoid confusion, General Assembly or Congress, because the document actually didn't reflect on
No,
that.
General Assembly is the first
Then it's
day.
Thursday.
I don't have any problem to say first day of the Olympiad.
No, it's not good to say, because if the General Assembly is not with an Olympiad covered, because you can have a special, so it's a problem to go. You should get days on, before the General Assembly starts.
Before General Assembly starts.
Not, but don't combine it in the statutes with the
No, of course.
I think that's a
Sorry, can I just suggest that we rather refer to the period in weeks than days? Because days always raise the question as, are you referring to business days, weekends? So if we say 2 weeks, everyone knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, Mr. President, sorry.
Yes.
Actually, when it comes to foreign countries, you might know that there are problems like visas and all. Okay, the last minute someone can't come and attend this. So I suppose that 1 week will be better, because sometimes suddenly a delegate doesn't show up, so we can make a decision there.
Because here, if we go to this, we should change also other articles, because the electoral committees are convinced 9-10 days before the Congress and all this, then it's moving.
We can put here 7 days in the Electoral Commission, maybe.
3
And,
days. 3
if
days.
you want to reduce...
That is so important for you for 3 days.
No, once again, it's 2 weeks. I just,
2 weeks and 1 week.
since we have many people from different federations here, for me it was not, it's the opening the debate, but mostly to hear their opinion. So I'm comfortable with, 10 days, 2 weeks, so, because we agree on the concept. Time should be allowed, so
To merge everything. So 2 weeks and 1 week for the Electoral Commission.
It's written the other day.
10 days.
10 days. So before people comes here, is the idea that everything, because
Commission
the idea was not people to come here and start this bargaining and talks and pressing and all this. This was the main idea.
Yes, no, but
To
the idea
do
is-
everything before assembly, before the Olympiad starts. This is what the main idea. That's why we said 14 days. As long we go the shorter period, all these discussions they will start.
Sure. Okay.
That's why we said 14 and 10 days for the electoral.
Okay.
Morton, sorry, do you want
Yeah,
to
I have another issue. I don't know when or if it comes up.
No, just a moment.
So we got proxies, there's more issues on
Yeah,
proxies.
on proxies.
That's I know we have as well,
Yeah,
I'm going to go
okay.
on.
Just a
then I'll
moment.
wait.
Let's finish with it.
Yeah. We're doing what we agree with first, then we'll
Yeah.
go to what we disagree.
also, Michael, it's just also throwing some ideas, because I'm not so sure I know the answer. What if 2 weeks is 10 days, it's a period where anything can happen. What if the proxy holder gets ill and doesn't show up? So that's,
bad.
again,
Too
it's,
bad.
yeah,
Too
because,
bad. Too bad, Gary.
no, but that's, then proxy is lost.
We have this, yes, we have this discussion, how to solve this. We know that there's a problem here.
Oh,
I had even with Ms. Sankett, I told her, if you can generate an idea, I'm ready to, but
didn't-
we cannot think something. If this happens, sorry. What to do?
Yeah.
What to do?
This was-
Because if we open a window here, then you can imagine what it will happen. It will happen.
This was the point I was going to raise, because there was, some years ago, the mother of the Swedish chess president passed away, and he was summoned home during the first day of the General Assembly. The vice president was there, but he couldn't get a proxy, which to some extent seems unreasonable, as long as it's from the same board, they're traveling, there's a team. I understand you cannot hand it around to others, but in such a situation, I think maybe one should be able to.
More than when you start this,
Yeah.
everybody will bring papers, till mothers, fathers, brothers. Let's don't go to this.
But Morton, it only covers the election, because after the election, then it's open again for proxies again. It's
Yeah.
only the election.
Basically-
that covers.
Ali,
Basically, I object the proposal. I will object in the General Assembly myself on behalf of my federation. Why you are deciding who is going to represent me and I can nominate anyone? What kind of democracy is this?
what can
Why you
understand?
put a limit? I mean, I can do it any time as president of federation with my federation. Because you are thinking about some dirty things can happen because of that. You are stopping my right of vote in a way that, what kind of democracy, I don't understand this. How you can stop my right of vote, who is going to represent me and when? I am a president, I can decide anytime with my federation who represents me, when, I can replace it. This is not business of FIDE, this is not business of the General Assembly. So as Turkish Chess Federation President, I will object this. It's not possible like that. Is this democracy?
Ali, you can object, of course.
Yes,
But-
personal opinion.
Yeah, okay, but it is not undemocratic. It's just a procedure which is trying to help FIDE's work and to improve FIDE's work and to avoid undemocratic things which is happening during the General Assembly. This is what we are trying to do.
Yeah, but his point is that he can lose his right to vote, to participate,
Exactly.
because
not
of this
democracy.
procedure. This is his point.
People
The guy
some-
passed
some
away
people are
and I
losing
cannot
rights to
vote now.
Okay, he has a serious point. It's not that it's not serious. He said, I can lose my right to participate
To what?
in this assembly.
And I will tell you, this is very serious. I don't think that you can change, even with majority, some way, with force majeure situation, to stop the right of voting for the people. I think any federation alone can go to, even with a unanimous vote, can go to court about this because this is voting right. It's not possible. You cannot stop my voting right. Assume that the guy passed away, my delegate.
I understand your point.
What is this bullshit?
But I here is just, I understand the concern, but if the right to vote is so important, the federation can travel. I think we should assume that if proxy is given, then maybe they don't, for whatever reason, this is the right to vote for them is not our utmost priority. So I agree that we have to find a solution, but I'm not sure that we just have to cut everything we're discussing now because of this hypothetical concern of losing right to vote.
Okay, but it's important as a principal matter. It's important no federation to lose the right.
Sorry, yes?
I think here it's
Sorry, like to this gentleman first.
Yeah, good morning. I think I seem to agree with Ali because we don't have to personalize whatever we do. If you say my president is not there, so nobody can vote, that is wrong. Because it is a country. FIDE is made up of member federations, member countries. So it is a country that is voting and not an individual. The individual only, represents his country. So if he is not there, whoever is there representing the country should be able to vote.
Mazus and then...
I think here it's not a matter of proxy. I think here any federation, even at the last moment, if the president is not there or the delegate, I think anybody from that federation can vote for that federation. It's not a matter of proxy here.
Just to clarify, the current point 5.4 is written that the valid proxies can be reassigned to a new delegate by the person, and so on. So it is not the solution of this problem.
Probably it's a solution if the person is...
So it's already written this way. So if I understand, there is a proxy that has to be submitted at least 2 weeks before. After the Electoral Commission have to decide if the proxy is valid or if it is not valid. And now, in the current draft, it is written that the valid proxies can be reassigned to a new delegate.
Except if he is not here, then he cannot reassign anything.
Okay, but for example, if he has to leave and for urgent things he is here, he can reassign the proxy.
It can be a solution.
It's written in this way, just in the drafting.
Sometimes
it's drafted, approved back.
Sometimes it will be a solution. Yes, please.
Yeah,
And then
this is not regarding proxies. I mean, the president can appoint at any time who their delegate is. So it's president right.
This is your point that Ali is making, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just clarify myself.
Yes.
I give a proxy 15 days early to somebody because I am required to come into General Assembly. However, at the last moment, I decide to come as president of the Confederation. Have I the right of vote or the proxy is valid?
He has right of vote or not? It has to be based on what we have.
Macro, I have a similar question and we can discuss together. If you put, 14 days, for example, for the proxies, what is the difference between a proxy and vote after clarified who is going to vote? So it means that 14 days ago also what should be decided will be used by whom. So did you make any change for this? Can we change, not proxy? Proxy is something you give it to someone
Can
who
we discuss
represents you.
votes one by one now?
But same question.
This point.
Similar question in different way.
Yes.
because-
He gave the proxy. The president is here. Can he vote or the one who has the proxy? This is the question. But I don't remember now.
The amendment, I think it's the one who has the proxy.
Because I think the one who has a proxy can vote, cannot be changed. This is my understanding from the work.
At the moment.
At the moment, the one who has a proxy, this is one who, he cannot, the president cannot change. Except if they want, he reassigns the president, of course, which is a possibility. This is a possibility. He can reassign to the president. Ali, now.
First of all, if you put a limit for proxies.
For this we are talking now.
Yes.
This problem, what Jorge has raised.
Okay, but still.
We go after to your point.
About the time I am talking.
Yes, but we go after.
But the system we're trying to create is 2 weeks, we give proxies, then we close the proxy because of the election, yeah? Then it's reopened.
Yes.
So we're talking of this very narrow time that something can happen. Now, we could also think of a system that if someone has the proxy and the president of that federation shows up, he can say, I hold the vote, if he can prove he's the president. Or he proves that he's the elected delegate for that country. But in no other circumstances this can be done.
Yeah, I also have to, I think it's a good compromise. I think we can say that the physical appearance trumps the proxy, but only physical appearance. If president or permanent delegate shows up, then proxy can be trumped, just to follow the logic that was discussed here.
And only after the time limit.
But only physical appearance. So no reassignment. So if the president shows up after this limit, then he can take it back, or the person designated by the federation. So that's, I think that will be a compromise to satisfy the older parties.
Normally, we don't have really permanent delegates. This is the truth. What's mean permanent delegate? We have this many years in the FIDE that are changing now, because they're not permanent. Who is permanent delegate? Very few federations, like the United States, for example, they have a delegate who is selected by the General Assembly. And this is the one who can represent. Other federations, the truth is that they don't have this kind of permanent delegate. So for me, either we go to the president or the president appeals, okay, he can withdraw his proxy to the president, but not to any delegate, because then we are opening another situation. And you know what is going on with elections. Sometimes the delegate is with one group, the president is with the other group. Either we give this right to one person, to the president, which is normal, but not to too many people, because who knows who will appear and what it will happen there.
But maybe this can be discussed during the day to see if it's possible to work out.
Yes.
the
Yeah, no,
solutions
please.
of the-
Correct.
We hope many are. I mean, that's the idea of a meeting.
So
being
we are
civil.
taking the note, we will discuss more of this, yeah.
Although I said I am objecting this, but if it's accepted, I will say that there shouldn't be any difference by a delegate and by a proxy. Did you understand what I say?
Yeah.
There cannot be difference with a proxy representing a federation indirectly or a delegate. It's not correct in democracy again. You cannot, I will say, for example, you should nominate who is going to use your vote, even you don't use a proxy as delegate as Greek Chess Federation 14 days ago. If you put for proxy 14 days, you should put a time also for delegates 14 days. Otherwise you make separation. It's not correct. Because it's the vote. At the end it's going to be used. Exactly, it should be the
It's
same.
the same for the delegates.
Also,
the-
for the delegates
We can
also.
say this,
So it
but
means
we
we
don't
say,
but this is because the delegates needs a paper from the federation.
so,
Also
Marco,
this
so
should
that,
be-
to understand again.
Yeah.
So it means that 14 days ago, all the delegates of General Assembly, by a
Everything,
proxy
yes,
or
yes.
direct or president,
Yes,
is clear.
14 days before the assembly, delegates or others that are carrying proxies, it will be clear who are they, who they are.
So, and then
It's
they
not possible
cannot,
that one appears after 14 days says, I'm the delegate. Correct? This is the...
I am not sure that this is in the current draft, because in the current draft of the new statute is written at point 4.3. Every member federation is represented by its delegate, who must belong to the member federation that they represent. The federation can give a proxy either to another person from the
Sorry,
same
not the
federation
delegate.
or to the delegate of another federation. This is the difference between a delegate and proxy.
Yes, but again, surely it's a case that if they have the delegate, if they want somebody other than the delegate, they have to tell us 14 days in advance.
So if they want to change the delegate then, that we have, they should say 14 days before, correct? Actually for the delegate, we know much more time before, for the delegate.
Delegate is not
No,
so
actually,
clear.
it's not
No, the delegates in FIDE They are known before. We're publishing their names also. If they want to change the delegate by giving a proxy, they need 14 days before. The delegate we know.
Then we say, if they don't give any name, delegate they publish automatically becomes delegate in general.
Yeah. This is the idea.
But it must mean that federations keep up to date who the delegates are on the website, to advise FIDE, because the problem we have, I mean, when I was a scrutineer, the major problem I had when we were scrutineering was
again
knowing who the delegate was, because the federation said, no, 6 months ago we elected somebody else, but they never told FIDE, and we have a problem that way.
So shouldn't we then introduce a deadline for submitting who is the delegate before all of this? And this list is published, and then you can start looking at possible changes the last 2 weeks. So this is absolutely sure, because I know from before that you rely very much on what is registered on the FIDE website, which can be outdated a long time ago.
Yeah.
You get all of these new people, and you spend a lot of time finding out are they delegates or not.
Yeah.
The federation should really send to FIDE, our delegate is.
Yes, and the office, as soon as any proxy we get at the moment, and presumably will happen in future, any proxy we get which isn't signed by somebody we don't know, we even now do it in advance of going, and we go back to them and say, is this the right person to
Morgan,
sign?
this was the point of FIDE, 14 days also to be the deadline for the delegate. This was his point. To inform FIDE that this is our delegate. So if there is no such information, there's not a change. Right? The one which published is the right one.
Why not add delegate to the register? Deadline to register. It is here in 5.2. All proxies must be registered at the Secretariat.
Yes, but we're saying, Totti, that if the delegate is what's on the website, then it's like in the Olympiad, if your top 4 players are playing, then we automatically know you don't have to put in a thing saying who's playing. And here is the case, if it's the delegate as the one that's on the website, you don't need to tell us. We know. It's only if it's a change.
I think it'd be better if it's proactive. Have to tell.
Mr. Makupoulos,
Yes.
to correct, because you said what Ali says. I don't say this. I say if there is a time, it should be for delegate.
I know, this you said. This you said.
I am
That's
against
why
to put any date except
I understand
5 o'clock
I understand.
and before.
I understand what you said. Thus, you said that if there is a deadline, it should be for the delegate. And your point, so you said it's better if they inform.
I think it should be proactive that all federations should notify their delegate, irrespective of what's on the website.
So if they don't, what is going to be
Then
the
who is-
That the delegate
wait a moment, they cannot vote?
We assume that the delegate that is in
So
the-
you see, then it's not working, this proposal. Because this, yes, you assume that the delegate is the one who,
That's it.
his name has been.
But there's no harm confirming that the one in the
No,
list is
it's
the
okay.
correct one.
This is okay, but if he doesn't, or the federation doesn't confirm, doesn't mean that cannot participate in the assembly.
Because the delegate shows up and he's the same as they have listed. But
Yeah.
if there's a discrepancy between this, we have a problem.
Yes, but it's up to federations to, if there's a change, to advise us.
But if they don't do and a different person comes, then we have.
No, he cannot, a different person, this is clear.
Except the
Yeah, we have to
president.
be clear on this.
This is clear, Morten, this is clear. The different person cannot. Just, we cannot say, if you don't confirm 14 days before that your delegate in the website is the right one, then you cannot vote. I mean, it's not possible.
No, if you don't confirm, the name stays.
That's it.
Okay, then this is,
It's very logical, I mean.
No problem.
if you don't change, actually the name stays.
Yeah.
This is the point. Okay. Yes. I think we have accepted this.
Is there any other thing on that part?
No, just want to understand this point. What happens in this current draft? If you receive a proxy, so for example, the person that receives the proxy can give the proxy to somebody else. But what happens, for example, because this day he has to come back at home for some personal reasons. But what happens the delegate if it happens the same? So if we approve something as you propose in this moment, the president of a federation will have less power than the person that received the proxy. I don't know if I was clear.
Very clear. For me, you are right.
So,
I will tell you, this discussion from the beginning is totally against the democracy. Believe me. I mean, to discuss is not undemocratic. But what you try to do, now you are diminishing the power of a president. If you compare a guy who's carrying a proxy, he can give it to anyone, I cannot give it to anyone. Can you imagine this? That's the reason I said it's totally against the democracy. You are stopping the right of my federation.
Just to say this current draft, it's enough to add in the point 4, don't remember what of the electoral regulation, delegate. Not only the person that receives the proxy, but even the delegate can do this. In this way, we have the same powers for everybody. Because I think that the original idea is just to have given to electoral commission the possibility to evaluate in due time the document received. That was a general idea.
So on this point, any more on this point of proxy? We've got much more on proxies, but on this point, is there anything else? Okay, so then the next point.
I think it's this, while we were so excited over this point, we just departed from the very beginning of discussion, which means that it's a very hypothetical situation, because it's not going to happen in big numbers. So a federation couldn't send a representative. It gives a proxy to a delegate. I mean, how many of these delegates could get ill, will not show up? So we're talking about very hypothetical probability. So that's why I think we should look for a reasonable solution, but not to...
But they want that even for this small probability that the delegate has the same rights.
I agree, let's find some, but it's still, let's not,
You're right.
overblow this chance.
Yeah. Okay, now with proxies, then we come to the differences, because the proposal is that, as you've seen it here, as to what it is, as to who can get a proxy, how they can use it. I know that the meeting that was held in the Radisson yesterday came up with some other ideas. Ruth threw out a few of them, that maybe that the proxy can only be given to someone from the same federation, and various other things. So we'd like to hear your comments on who can receive a proxy.
We have discussed that it's problematical if you say it can only be given to the same federation, because then you have to define what the same federation means. And we also discussed maybe you could give the proxy to someone registered as part of your delegation, and some discussion happened of that also.
Yeah, we sort of said that it could be difficult because there might not be another member of the delegation, or in the case that you were saying, look, they've got 5 people in the team, or some could come with 4, would be difficult, but if 5 in the team, the 5th player might not
but again,
do what the federation wants. So it's hypothetical, yeah. I mean, I think we would prefer to keep the present situation. The proxies can be given to whoever, if it's a registered delegate, to whoever the person who's giving the proxy trusts. Yes.
Sorry, can I just clear up my own understanding? When we use the word proxy, the legal meaning of a proxy is when you are absent. The member federation is absent, and it gives a proxy to another federation to represent it at the meeting. So when Ali says he cannot be there, but he can send someone else from his federation, then he doesn't need a proxy. Well, he might have, it might be a question of the authority of his delegate or the president, but the word proxy, by definition, means authority in your own absence. So when we talk about now, if the issue raised by Ruth is that you shouldn't be able to give it to someone in your own delegation. Then it's outside the definition of a proxy. A proxy is, if I, as from, let's say, American, I cannot be at the meeting. I can appoint Canada to come in my stead. And if you then want to debate who from Canada, must it be the delegate, must it be the president, that's a debate. But you cannot talk about someone, if the president of America cannot come, can he send a delegate? That's not a proxy.
Okay, thanks. I mean, that's roughly our view, but as I say, other views were discussed, I know, so I'm just bringing it up.
Okay, of course, the delegate is not a proxy, but he can give the proxy to, how is it, to Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
Aline, 1 second.
again, I repeat, also in this issue, to give the proxy to someone discussing this, please check the situation now here. Many people are coming to me and they say, we play. Don't forget that also General Assembly time, we don't know where exactly, I mean, most important votings, I mean, it's not election only. Some voting for events, some other things, some decisions,